The updated version of the document, aggression against Russia by any non-nuclear state, but with the support of a nuclear state, is proposed to be considered as their joint attack on Russia. Russia will also consider the possibility of using nuclear weapons when receiving reliable information about a massive launch of means of aerospace attack and their crossing of our state border. This includes strategic and tactical aircraft, as well as cruise missiles and drones, hypersonic and other delivery vehicles. Russia reserves the right to use nuclear weapons in case of aggression, including if the enemy, using conventional weapons, poses a critical threat.
It is important to note at this point that these are, at this time, proposals to amend Russia's nuclear weapons use doctrine. We heard from Vladimir Putin multiple scenarios in which the rules and regulations governing how Russia can use its nuclear weapons will change. The first scenario is if a non-nuclear power attacks Russia with conventional arms but poses a grave or critical threat to Russia's sovereignty, the Russian leadership will be able to use nuclear weapons to neutralize that threat. The second scenario and how things will change is if that non-nuclear power that is attacking Russia is aided, supplied, abetted by a nuclear power, then that nuclear power will be considered a party to this conflict. So a joint attack on Russia, which will mean Russia will be able to use nuclear weapons both on the non-nuclear power and the nuclear power that it'll consider attacking it. Also, Russia will be able to use, preemptively perhaps use, nuclear weapons if there is verified information, proof that there is an ongoing attack on Russia using aerospace assets or, for example, a mass launch of drones. Again, I must mention that these are, at this time, are proposals on how Russia's first use of nuclear weapons, its nuclear doctrine, will change. Nevertheless, this is a stark warning to the West, the latest in a slew of such. Previously, Vladimir Putin had come out and said that if advanced Western missiles with great ranges are supplied to Ukraine and used against Russia for strikes deep into Russian territory, then those countries, the United States perhaps, or Great Britain or France, which supply Ukraine with extended range missiles, that they will be complicit in an attack on Russia. Russia has brushed off their arguments that they merely hand these weapons over. Russia says it has evidence, and there is no way that Ukraine can plan, launch, and use these weapons without without NATO troops being involved, without NATO technical staff being involved, without NATO intelligence and NATO satellites being involved. But this comes at a dangerous time, at a time when many Western leaders are saying, ignore Putin and Russia's warnings, supply Ukraine with these missiles, and undoubtedly, even though they won't change anything, undoubtedly, Ukraine, they believe, will be able to resist Russia further. An argument that both military experts and the Russian government have said is in itself senseless.
In the updated version of the...
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Lions Den with another news and commentary. I have some breaking international news to share with you today. So I want to give a shout out to Megatron and now Raw's Alert on X, formerly known as Twitter, for the story. So President Joe Biden has just authorized the use of U.S. supplied long-range missiles by Ukraine for strikes inside Russia. And now you heard earlier from Russian TV, Vladimir Putin, the president of Russia, has said they will have no problem strike back if Russia's been attacked from not only from Ukraine, but from the U.S., France, or the Great Britain. So this is basically a concern, ladies and gentlemen. So the Democrats now wanted to start World War III. And this is disturbing because now, you know, we already supply Ukraine with weapons, with billions of dollars and everything else. And by doing this, by allowing the Ukrainians launching our missiles, our weapons to Russia, it's going to start World War III. And again, this is the last thing we need right now. And obviously, you heard what President Vladimir Putin says. He says that Russia, if attacked by non-nuclear power or nuclear power or both, then Russia has no problems retaliate, strike back against them. In other words, if the U.S. supply Ukraine weapons, and when Ukraine decided to launch those long range missiles into Russian soil, the Russian government ain't have no problems retaliated attacking the Ukraine's, the United States, Great Britain, and France, or parts of the West. So it looks to me, ladies and gentlemen, that the Democrats will not take any L's, not take any losses. So instead, Joe Biden said, okay, let's start at World War III, let's send Ukraine all these long-range missiles, and then basically the Russians going to retaliate, attacking us or Great Britain or France or any other Western powers. This, ladies and gentlemen, is extremely concerning. Because, and I think they're doing this before Donald Trump even takes office. Why would you want to start World War III against another nuclear power? And then we already sent billions and billions of dollars to Ukraine. Now you're going to send weapons to Ukraine, like long-range missiles and everything, and thinking by attacking Russia, by the Ukrainians, that Russia's like, okay, I'm going to let that slide. They'll attack us. We're fine. No. One thing about Russia and Vladimir Putin, that's not the man you don't want to deal with. And by you attacking his country, using our weapons that we sent to Ukraine, it's going to be a World War III situation. And they're doing this because they knew Trump's not going to allow that to happen. So since Biden still remained president until, next year, they're going to make some plans like this, and they still will not accept the L. And this is basically a concern. And I'm reading the comments, and a lot of people said Joe Biden is starting World War III now for Trump to deal with. And this isn't good. This is not good. And a lot of people are really seeing what they're about to do. And so if what the story is true, then ladies and gentlemen, we need to prepare ourselves. And this is going to be another war, or another rumors of war, but this time it's going to be about nuclear power versus nuclear power. And by having nuclear weapons, this isn't good. I think that's mainly the reason why I think months ago they already talk about, I don't know, come from the New York Post. They talking about if there's a nuclear attack happening in this country, there's some ways or some pamphlets you can use to, prevent from having that, aftermath. But ladies and gentlemen, even with that, this isn't good at all. We have two nuclear powers now under each other's throats because of Ukraine. When we sent billions of dollars into Ukraine, sent weapons into Ukraine, fighting Russia and their invasion, it shows you, ladies and gentlemen, that once we do that, and Russia knew that Ukraine don't have those type of weapons, we supplied Ukraine with these weapons. And all of a sudden now, this is the World War III situation. And you heard what Vladimir Putin said in his news conference. He was saying, like, if the non-nuclear power or nuclear power plan to attack Russia, they'll have no, in other words, they have no problems will retaliate against the Western powers or a non-nuclear power, which is Ukraine. And all of this because Joe Biden wanted to help the Ukrainians, allegedly. And by sending billions of dollars to them, and now sending military weapons to them, and by doing this, attacking Russia, using the same weapons we supplied for them, and this is going to be a World War III situation, and we all going to be in danger. Every last one of us. This is sort of like the sum of all fears. For those of you that didn't see the movie, y'all need to check that movie out. With Morgan Freeman and Ben Affleck. If y'all seen the sum of all fears, y'all know what I'm talking about. And this is about to happen because Joe Biden saying it's okay to authorize our weapons by the Ukrainians to attack Russia. This is sick, man. This is sick. And they did it before Donald Trump even sworn in as the 47th president of the United States. Unbelievable. Let me know what you think in the comments.